Hello and welcome to Todd Rolls Dice, where we're going to take a look at the Warhammer 40,000 Adepticon 2025 reveals from the livestream. If you want my initial live reactions to these, I'll link the livestream at the end of this video if you want to check it out. I'm probably going to chapter it up better now that it's not 3:30 in the morning. But we'll tweak that. But this is going to be a run through of the 3 articles that we have on WarCom. There might be 4 actually. I think I've forgotten to load one up. Should probably touch on all the 40k stuff when we're doing a 40k roundup, shouldn't we? But we're going to start here with Chaos and my chosen Chaos Legion, the World Eaters. But how about we run through this full article with a look at the 3 Chaos factions that are still awaiting anything from 10th edition. Chaos ascends with new units and codexes for Khorne, Tzeentch and Nurgle. Let's have a model on show, shall we? If there's one thing the Chaos Gods can't abide, it's letting any one of their number become dominant. And with the Emperor's Children riding high this month, Khorne, Tzeentch and Nurgle are clamouring for their own new power, so much so that all 3 have something to show off today. I just want to point out, the Nurgle showing we've already seen, but the World Eaters kick things off with a new leader for their 8-bound champions, the Slaughterbound. A monstrously powerful warrior whose unquenchable lust for bloodshed is so great that they welcome a mighty bloodthirster into their soul. So this is 8-bound on bloodthirster level steroids. I think this is a really cool model. It definitely fits the 8-bound vibe. I love this texture here. I think it's texture. I think the model is sculpted like that. It's not just paint. If that's painting, it's amazing. But it looks like the armor is just becoming muscle, sinew. That's really cool. So that's a really cool model. They're also getting their codex. We are not surprised by any of this. April was teased as the month for World Eaters. Looks like it's going to be the month for Chaos, but hey, that's not a bad thing. So the new World Eaters codex is a blood-soaked tome packed with background lore, miniature galleries, faction rules. Like the Emperor's Children, the World Eaters are now joined by their demonic allies within their own codex, so you can field legions of bloodletters, bloodthirsters, and more alongside your Khornite berserkers in one of 5 detachments. 5 detachments is quite nice, but my understanding of this stuff, it's 5 detachments in total, plus maybe an index one or whatever, I'm not entirely sure. There was the Christmas one as well, wasn't there? So the December detachments, Grotma stuff. Unlike Loyalist Space Marines, World Eaters are going to lose access to the standard Chaos Space Marine Codex units and detachments. I might be wrong on that. Inform me in the comments below. Let me know if I am wrong. But I think that's how they went with the Emperor's Children. And that's what stopped me getting into Emperor's Children. Death Guard up next. So they receive a new codex to complement the Lord of Poxes that we've already seen. Do they have a model for him? Yeah, this guy, we've already seen him. Stunning model. But it's an old preview now. So in this one there's 6 detachments that gives you loads of flexibility to make the festering army of your most torrid nightmares, and they're also joined by Nurgle's demons as a surprise to nobody. Then moving on to the Thousand Suns, they have unshackled dark vaults of ancient technology and now unleash the unsettling robotic forms of the Sekitar robots on the galaxy. Now, first off, they don't look anything like 40k to me. I suppose they're not meant to, they're dark technology, but I was expecting something a bit more Dreadnought-ish with a Thousand Suns flair. I was obviously wrong, but that's just me. I don't know Thousand Suns at all. Thousand Suns players, more interested in what you guys think, let me know in the comments. But these towering mechanical constructs guard sites of immense sorcerous power as they are plundered by their masters. Their bodies are inscribed with illusionary spells and runes of obfuscation, letting them remain hidden in advantageous positions before opening up with arcane weapons and hellfire missiles. Rules for these armoured sentinels can be found inside the new Codex Thousand Suns, which will also include rules for Flamers, Screamers, Pink and Blue Horrors, the Lord of Change and Krios Fate Weaver. Across 5 diabolical detachments. Again, all of this is no surprise. We also have the next 2 of the 4. We've already seen the Emperor's Children one, but the next 2 very limited edition, fancy, expensive codexes. So all 3 of these codexes will be getting the same treatment that the Emperor's Children got. Each has its own luxury special edition. Like the extravagant Slaneshi tome, they all come with loads of accessories and another part of a Chaos medallion. Clip all 4 together to create an unholy Chaos symbol. Conan Nurgle's books are shown below, and that of Tzeentch is still hidden from our auguries. This is kind of as expected. I'm not going to go too deep over this. The Khorne one looks cool, but I think that they also said, do they say it here? They don't say it here on a quick scan. These are like 1,600 copies per codex. Incredibly limited. They're scalper fodder, basically. So if you want one of these, you better pray to all the dark gods for some element of favour. Good luck. And have that credit card ready. Although the 4 God Pledged Chaos Codexes give a new home to their respective demons, this isn't the only way you'll be able to deploy the denizens of the warp, as the recently updated Index Chaos Demons has all the options you need to field a solely demonic army. This does mean that there will be no dedicated Codex Chaos Demons this time around, which we all knew, but it's nice that they're finally confirming it. But the 3 Grotmist detachments for Khorne, Slaanesh, Tzeentch and Nurgle are also fully legal in all forms of play, so you have plenty of options on the table. And when each codex is released, the digital index will be updated with the latest points and data sheets, and our old friend Karanak will return to his rightful place in that index. Yeah, because they forgot Karanak. But he will be returning, so that's the good news. And I suppose the other good news, if you are solely a Chaos Demons player, you don't need to buy a codex. All your rules are going to be free. So that's cool. But yeah, that's it. I'm disappointed with this. I knew it was too much to hope for World Eater Wave 2. Or I don't know, it feels like these guys have been forgotten. I love that model. It feels like Chaos is just being pushed to the side. They did get a lot in 9th. 8th and 9th has been very good to Chaos. And I suppose with Emperor's Children getting a whole new army, basically, that might take the sting out of it. But if you favour one of the other gods, you've not got much this time around. How about we jump over to the next bit, and this does involve Chaos as well. We are returning to Armageddon, as demons ravage Armageddon and only the Grey Knights can throw them back. So Grey Knight love, everybody get excited, the Grey Knights are going to get something. Get ready for disappointment, as I think 9th and 10th have been for Grey Knight players anyway. But the Armageddon Crusade book is coming, and I think that this book is quite cool, even if the Grey Knight stuff is a real letdown as well. Blood-red skies have opened on Armageddon's North Pole, and a demonic horde of unimaginable magnitude will soon be unleashed upon the long-suffering planet. The demon Primarch Angron is back for another round, and even the intervention of the Grey Knights may not be enough to stop him in this latest supplement for Warhammer 40,000 Crusade, Armageddon. That's a pretty epic picture. In this detailed narrative campaign supplement, the Red Angels invasion unfolds over 43 pages of story. Legendary Space Marine chapters gather to throw back the incursion and decide the fate of this perennially battle-scarred hive world. You can take part in your own campaign to doom or defend Armageddon with unique branching paths for 3 separate alliances, bestowing thematic boons according to who won or lost in the previous campaign phase. For instance, you can rally Imperial morale in order to pass battleshock tests automatically in the next round. You're gonna need it. Oh, is that a chaosified Sisters of Oh, that is. That's the Kill Team statue that's been chaosified. That's cool. So, new Hellscape rules will let you play games on battlefields riven with warp energy. Units may acquire new abilities to teleport across the battlefield or slip through the skeins of time. But be warned, the influence of the Empyrean is a dangerous plaything, and unpredictable anomalies can wreak havoc on those who tamper with the warp. New narrative play rules power up your epic hero units by designating them mighty champions with appropriate campaign-focused abilities depending on what kind of character they are. Angron, for example, is every bit a nemesis champion who hunts down powerful enemy leaders, while Chaplain Grimaldus motivates his comrades as an inspirational champion. Those 2 abilities in full. Nemesis Champion is a Crusade ability. During the battle, if 1 or more enemy character models are destroyed by an attack made by an epic hero model or a model in a unit that it's attached to with this Crusade ability from your Crusade army, then at the Update Crusade card step, all units in your Crusade army gain an additional 1 XP. If one of those destroyed enemy character models was the enemy warlord, you also gain 1 strategic point. And inspirational champions, again Crusade ability. While an epic hero model with this Crusade ability is leading a unit, you can ignore any or all battle scars that bodyguard unit has. Ooh, that sounds quite nice and very fitting for Grimaldi. If your Crusade army includes 1 or more epic hero models with this Crusade ability, at the end of the battle you must select 1 additional unit from your Crusade army to be marked for greatness. Yeah, okay, I mean that's pretty nice. With demons running rampant, the most powerful and secretive of Space Marines are called to once again banish Angron, just as they did in the First War of Armageddon. The Grey Knights are ready to drive a spear into Khorne's legions with an updated codex. Cool artwork. I don't think any of this artwork is new, but it's cool artwork. And here's the downside. The Knights of Titan have been busy and their greatest champion stride forth with an updated Nemesis baby carrier. It includes new weapon options such as the Nemesis Flail and Nemesis Mace, which you can see in the respective images, and comes with plenty of additional parts to give your Grandmasters a subtle, ornate war machine to ride into battle. That's all you're getting. You're not even getting a new model, you're getting an upgrade sprue for a model that you probably have maximum of already. Isn't that just disappointing? And look, I know on the tabletop the rules for these Dread Knights are really cool, but it's a mechanical baby carrier. It's just the design of the actual Dread Knight is cool. It's the cockpit. It's the fact that his legs are just dangling. That's the problem, right? If this was all encased, in fact, yeah, I would have the legs bigger and the actual legs of the armor plate like Alien style, you know, the loader mechs? Just have them as thick, chunky legs, real big, chunky legs, and have this armor plate covering this leg and this leg. You know, it just doesn't look as much as just carrying a baby around. That would be cool. So they're going to cover more from Codex Greyos Knights as they get closer to release, including new detachments and Crusade campaign rules. All of that is cool. This is cool. I would love a reason to get into Grey Knights because they are such a cool army. They have really cool lore and they are just, it feels like they're just forgotten though, doesn't it? And this pathetic offering of a new model just because you're getting a codex. I'm really uninspired by this. But Grey Knights players, if this is something you're probably you're getting the scraps from everybody else at the minute, right, Grey Knight players? But if you like this, I 100% take it back. I am offended on your behalf. That's wrong. Let me know if you actually think that this is pretty cool, and if you're going to be picking up another Nemesis baby carrier to add to your army just for these new bits. Yeah, that's us. Crusade is cool, new Codex is cool, and new Crusade rules for Grey Knights to build into this as well. All of that is excellent. I just think that an upgrade sprue isn't enough of an offering when a new codex comes out, in all honesty. How about we jump over to the big one, and this one, as much as I hate it, has got me incredibly excited. Because Space Wolves are coming back with new models! These epic new Space Wolves will write sagas worthy of the Allfather. Before I get into this, my legion of choice has always been Dark Angels. I love the line model, and it's Lionel Johnson returning and getting that model for 9th that pulled me back into Space Marines. But I just don't know. I can't seem to just do a Dark Angels army that I'm happy with. Because there's so, like, the Primaris stuff is just switching me off. I don't feel like they're actually that much of a unique army. And then when I learned that Space Wolves have sagas and things that they need to do, like, as a individual basis during a battle, that keeps it more interesting for me. And then this happened. And having seen some of the new Heresy models for the Space Wolves and fallen in love with the runic armor and stuff, we have a real problem on our hands, guys. But the sons of Rus howl into the stars once more, for Armageddon stands on the blink, and the Space Wolves rise to its defense once more. We get a new army box with a whole host of new miniatures. The Wolves of Fenris are strapping on their pelts and roaring into action. That's a really badly worded. Strapping on their pelts. Oh yay, furries! That completely takes away the epicness of all of this. The Wolves of Fenris are roaring into action. I've fixed it. with a wide range of new miniatures, and this sounds like a full refresh because what we've seen here, that's it so far, but they did say there's more characters and there's more miniatures coming in second wave that we haven't seen yet. But this is an upcoming Space Wolves army set. This will also be the first place where you can get their new codex with a special cover dripping with Fenrisian style, and it is nice, I like that. So the box, as you'd expect, limited edition codex, limited edition data cards, and their new models, and I won't go through them here, they're amazing. This redesign is everything I love put in Space Marine form, and I'm so torn because this is making me want to just do Space Wolves instead of Dark Angels, and I'm not comfortable with that. The Blood Claws. First, before we get into that, I'll tell you why, right? So this is very much, and I don't know what the rest of it is going to be, but this is giving the Space Wolves their unique troops. You don't have to take 5 intercessors or 10 intercessors or bog standard Primaris upgrade stuff that can't go in transports. And I want to run Rhinos, I want to run Razorbacks, I want to run Land Raiders, I don't want to run any of the hover tank shite. I just want to run true scale Space Marines with the older vehicles and create an army that looks incredible. An army that I dreamed of as a kid, with the new Terminators, which are stunning by the way, you know, have some of them dotted in, but have some actual troops that are more, I want tactical squads that have a heavy weapon and a special weapon and then 8 other dudes. I want destroyer squads that have a mix of heavy weapons. I don't want one unit that is locked into one weapon type and that's all you can do. I don't know what it is, but this is just making me hope a little bit because the Space Wolves, and I didn't know much about the Space Wolves until a couple of weeks back when I started looking at them, but all of this is cool, and the fact that they're like, nah, sod your codex, we're gonna just have units how we want them. I love it. I really like their lore. But the models, Blood Claws. The impetuous Blood Claws are novitiates who cut their teeth as assault troops. Where other chapters temper new recruits in scout companies, the Space Wolves prefer to channel this youthful aggression into vicious close quarters assault. Is that a Lightning Claw? A Lightning Claw's coming back. Are we actually allowed to have Lightning Claws again? But these are brilliant. These are absolutely brilliant, and it's their true scale, so it's the new Mark 10 style armor, but it just, for some reason, it looks so different, so unique. I mean, it's very unique. And the helmets help. The older style helmets, so you've got the Mark 6 Beaky. That is Mark 10, but it's also a throwback to Mark 4, so that's cool. And then they just look really cool. And alright, it's blades, it's chainsaws, it's bolt pistols, and a Lightning Claw. Why is it so hard to get Lightning Claws in a modern 40k army? But this is amazing. For just bog standard assault troops, I think these look incredible. And then we have the Grey Hunters. So you get 10 of them in the army box to start with. Grey Hunters, once they've worked out their natural ferocity and earned a modicum of discipline, they're assigned to a Grey Hunters pack. These more experienced troops carry lighter bolt carbines, you've got me at bolt carbines to be honest, into battle, so they can fire on the move, always closing on their foe until they can get into close combat. Power axes. Another thing I've been screaming about. We need more power axes in 40k. This army has power axes. So again, is that the Mark? I don't know what Mark that is, but that's the classic Space Marine style helmet that I remember as a kid. That's what the Tactical Marines had. They were kitted out in that armor. And then they just look cool. Like, the helmets are great, don't get me wrong. But it's the bare heads. That's the Primaris Mark 10 Mark 4. But it doesn't. It looks so different to bog standard boring intercessors. It's got enough flair to be different, but they're still just normal troops. This is exactly what they should have been doing. Just make them true scale. But I do love the bare heads as well. I think the helmets are cool. They've got their own little Space Wolves insignias and things, but yeah, just excellent. And it is a box of 5 doubled up to be a squad of 10, so there will be some repeat poses depending on how you build them. I think these look incredible. They look exactly how I would want an intercessor squad to look, but then the absolute highlight. the Wolf Guard head takers. So the Wolf Guard are the chapter's greatest veteran warriors who can fulfill a variety of roles, including wearing precious suits of Terminator armor. Some are selected as head takers, especially those who retain their youthful energy, charging down the toughest foes with packs of loyal wolf companions. So you have me at wolf pets, right? That's cool. But these guys are just Doom the Dark Ages Slayer, which I love. That is that whole aesthetic with a round shield, that basically that heavy armored Nordic warrior nod is everything that I love about sci-fi fantasy mixed in together. These guys absolutely nail that. They've got the pelts, they've got the round shields, they've got both swords and axes, and they just look cool. They look so much cooler and so much more individual than Blade Guard, which is what this unit is. It's Blade Guard with puppies. But if you put normal Blade Guard and then you put these guys, I'm picking these guys every single time. And then some more shots there with dual weapons and stuff. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And they have stepped away from the goofy furry vibe that I think that Space Wolves were sort of getting a rep for. And these just look badass, covered in pelts, but it's pelts in sensible places where warriors would wear, you know, their kills or trophies that they've earned or whatever. And then you've got these big, thick power armor with beautiful round shields. I love these. So you get 3 of those and 3 puppies in the box as well. The Wolf Guard battle leader, I'm guessing that he leads those other guys. They're basically lieutenants, so they're field commanders who hold roughly the same rank and duties as the lieutenants of more codex compliant chapters. They can take a range of weaponry and come with a variety of cosmetic options. So that's the guy that we saw, but then you've got sort of power sword and shield, and then you've got helmeted power sword and shield, and then you've got different head, you've got plasma pistol, you've got a hammer there, hopefully lightning claws and things, maybe. We don't know, that's just me wishing. Really, really cool. And then probably the coolest model in the box is the Wolf Priest. And he looks cool with the wolf, the hooded wolf helm, but that old head, that tattoo at work is incredible. But that old head with the braided beard and hair, and that's incredible. I love this guy. So the Wolf Priest. The duties of both chaplains and apothecaries are handled by somber wolf priests, who form a vital part of the Space Wolves' cultural heritage, both as storytellers and healers. They're terrifying to behold on the battlefield, booming excerpts from great sagas over the din of battle, while glaring out from behind their chilling wolf skull helmets. So all these miniatures are included in the new army set alongside a freshly updated Space Wolves Codex, packed with background lore, miniature galleries, and data sheets for 20 unique units. And this is where you should start to get concerned, existing Space Wolves collectors and players. 20 unique units, there's 35 unique data sheets in the index. 2 of those are Logan Grimnar, because you have Logan Grimnar and then him on the Storm Rider sled. But even taking one of those out as a duplication, and let's say that he is either just on foot or he is just in the sled moving forward, that's 14 data sheets that you're losing, and that can't all be characters. Does this mean Thunderwolves are going to disappear? Is Murderfang going to go? I mean, surely you can't get rid of Murderfang. Are you going to lose Longfangs, which is a variant of the Destroyer squads, which I love, by the way. Longfangs are incredible. I don't know. I mean, there's also quite a few different types of wolf. There's Cyberwolf, there's Fenrisian wolves. You could probably roll them into the same role. I don't know. It just feels like you're going to lose a huge, at least for 10th. You're going to lose a whole host of models here, and that all of this is cool, and the fact that there's more coming is amazing, but it's also concerning when that number is so low compared to the 34 unique data sheets that you already have. It's a big drop. But there are more troops marching from the frosty halls of Fenris before the Space Wolves are done, but that's a saga for another day. In the meantime, blah 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 blah. The new campaign book is going to tie in with this release. We also have this, we'll end up on the 40k roadmap. So coming out now, as in April, I think, Thousand Suns Space Wolves dropping quickly. World Eaters and Death Guard. Now, you could quite easily drop Thousand Sons, World Eaters and Death Guard all on the same week. There's not a lot of new stuff. Space Wolves is going to obviously be a week on its own. Chaos Knights, Imperial Knights are back in the frame for coming next. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get them, because they were forgotten last time, but there's definitely something coming for Knights. I don't know if you're going to get new Knights, upgrade sprues, much like the Dread Knight, or just codexes. It could... We don't know yet. We don't know. But also, Black Templars have made the list, and then rounding out with Grey Knights, which we've seen. So we don't know what's coming for Knights, Imperial or Chaos. Or Black Templars, expect them at the next reveal or something on WarCom maybe, but on the horizon is what's fascinating. So we'll cover the easy one first. This one, top right, is obviously a League of Votann. That armor, that wrist, comm device, datapad, whatever it is, that is just Votann. I've customized enough Votann to know that. So Leagues of Votann are coming. Potentially with more releases, because they do need a second wave, but then I said that about World Eaters and they got one model, so who knows. But these other two, and then there was a third that isn't mentioned here that was a teaser for further down the road. We're getting 3 Space Marines, and I think this third one has been confirmed as Raven Guard, so well done to whoever shouted that in the stream. I think it was Steve. Well done, good shout on the Raven Guard. You've nailed that. But this is Imperial Fists, and then we've known Salamanders is coming for a while. So this is pointing out more Loyalist Space Marine first founding chapters getting army books. And Imperial Fists, you could spin that into maybe Crimson Fists as well, because we do need a new Pedro Cantor, and support for these chapters, with the amount of money that Games Workshop is making, and the wealth of new fans, not just for Ultramarines, but for Space Marines across the globe with Space Marine 2, and then all of the Amazon Secret Levels stuff, the Amazon TV stuff, it makes sense for you to better represent each individual Space Marine chapter than just a couple of different unique characters, unique troop options. At least one for each chapter feels right. So they're coming. Obviously, we're moving into the last year of 40k 10th that we know of, this 3-year cycle. I hate it. I don't think it's long enough, but we're moving into the last 12-month period. So, I mean, who knows what's going to come, but it looks like we are at least going to get some more Loyalist first founding love for Space Marines, which on the whole, it's a good thing. It gives you more kit bash potential, even if it's not your chapter, doesn't it? So that's cool. But that's the exciting stuff. I think the Space Wolves are just incredible. It concerns me how much I love this, because I was done with 40k. I wasn't looking at it for the channel, but not for the next 12-month period that I'm kind of forecasting with. I think we might have to dabble. We'll see. It depends when this comes out, because it isn't top of the list, but it is stunning. I'm very interested. I am interested to see what they do. There is one more 40k thing that I'll quickly touch on, and that is the new chapter approved mission deck. Again, no surprise, we're coming into the last year, but it's been a 12-month cycle. We're moving into the next phase of chapter approved, and this is going to hopefully transform match play. So there's different ways of playing. Gives you rules for 1,000 point incursion, which is great. That's a nicer feeling size. 2,000 points for me personally is just too big and boring to put together, and then the games take too long. So I'm not a fan of the 2,000 point style. At 1,000 points, I could see myself building a 1,000 point list and playing and having fun. There's also new asymmetric war games maps, as you can see here. Asymmetric deployments and things. So this is really cool. New stratagems. There's a new catch-up mechanic, so very much like Sigmar as with Spearhead. They're bringing in some elements of an underdog system. Interesting to use, but these challenger cards, I think we need to look into them in greater depth. But it works really well in Spearhead, so hopefully they're just carbon copying and dropping that in, and it's not going to feel over the top or ridiculous or anything. But this could make it much more interesting to play 40k. So all of this is good and positive. You're also getting your 6 objective marker set, which they always come out. They're actually quite nice, these. Just standard battlefield. There's nothing too glaring jumping out at you. They're just nice little target mechanic, or target symbol, auspex, pings. Really, really cool. So that'll be coming out very soon, probably June, May, June, I'd expect. I think, when did 10th originally come out? When did we get Leviathan? Was it June, end of June? So they'll be coming on around the anniversary of 10th. But that's us. The winner of the 40k stuff for me is Space Wolves, and I never even knew I wasn't expecting it. I was actually, when they were teasing it and we're going back to Armageddon and then they were teasing Space Marines, I was going, it's salamanders, because they're on the list. And I got so excited about salamanders, I went, Vulcan's coming back. Vulcan isn't coming back. But you know what might be coming, or who might be coming back? I love these guys, they're so cool. There was a very big wink to the camera when they said Space Wolves are getting more as part of this refresh, more characters. We are due a Loyalist Primarch, and Leman Russ has been rumoured for so long, and with this more Nordic Viking-esque Berserker style, I mean even these guys, they have that Nordic vibe to them. And especially with the Nordic runes, here we getting old man Leman Russ, who's very much like an Odin style. Surely Leman Russ has to just be swinging a sword about, cutting people into pieces, and he is a warrior. He's like the lion. He's a lead from the front kind of guy. But how cool would it be if he had that more of a old man Odin vibe to him? That could just be a really, really, really cool model. Right, I'm going to have to go because my voice is starting to go and this has been a long video. So that is the 40k roundup for everything that was revealed at Adepticon. I am also going to look at AOS. We'll do that in a separate video. Keep an eye out for that if you're interested in AOS. But overall, the show was really cool. You can check out the live stream. It will be at the end of this video. If you've enjoyed this, please do drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't, because we will be covering more of this stuff. We cover Warhammer stuff quite a lot, but we cover other games as well. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.